From the start, Biosphere 2 was ahead of its time, and through constant innovation and expansion, it remains positioned to address our world's most pressing issues. Owned and operated by the University of Arizona, Biosphere 2 is a sophisticated model of our planet Earth. Can you imagine a laboratory that holds a rainforest and an ocean? That is what Biosphere 2 does. It contains biomes that simulate Earth systems on a massive scale, providing a home for the huge questions asked by chemists, biologists, ecologists, and other researchers who work here to understand our planet. Biosphere 2 is a living laboratory where scientists examine interactions in a controlled environment. You can't put the entire Amazon rainforest under glass and control it, but the rainforest in Biosphere 2 is contained, so you can manipulate the water and temperature conditions to conduct experiments on the entire ecosystem.
Here in the rainforest, we do a lot of research looking at how do tropical forests respond to climate change. And we do that in response to increasing carbon dioxide, because that happens with climate change, increasing temperature, and increasing drought. This tower behind me has sensors for temperature and humidity and for light, so that we actually can understand those conditions as they change. With that, we know the growing conditions every 15 minutes for these plants at the locations that are at, so in great detail. Now that's above ground. We also need to know that below ground, especially when we do droughts. Where do the trees get their water from, and what are the conditions? And so we can look all the way down to the bottom to actually measure where the water comes from. That also gives us the possibility to actually put tracers in the water and then see which trees take up the water, either at the top or at the bottom. So those kind of questions we hope to answer in the near future.
There are 5 very different biomes under glass at Biosphere 2, including the tropical rainforest. The ocean biome contains 700,000 gallons of salt water. With a new wave blower, pump, and heat exchanger, the ocean can accurately simulate the stresses and conditions found in natural marine systems. Research is enhanced by the addition of our Ocean Raceway, a nursery for corals. The mangrove biome is composed of 2 major types of wetlands, a grassy marsh and a swamp filled with mangrove trees. The desert biome simulates an arid scrub ecosystem in a coastal climate, sometimes called a fog desert. The savanna biome, with a stream and waterfall, is a transition zone between the desert and the rainforest, and is planted with many grasses and edible species of trees. Beneath these biomes is what's called the technosphere, more than 3 acres of electrical, plumbing, and mechanical systems that regulate the temperature, airflow, and humidity levels. The Energy Center complex is the hub for all control, electrical, and mechanical systems necessary to sustain Biosphere 2. Here at the Landscape Evolution Observatory, or LEO, researchers are studying a landscape in its first phase of evolution. LEO is an experiment to study the interacting systems of air, water, soil, plants, and microbes. It consists of 3 enormous steel structures filled with 1 million pounds of crushed basalt rock from a volcanic crater in northern Arizona. The forming soil in each structure is filled with almost 2,000 sensors, so that scientists can measure the effects of their experiments on water, carbon, energy, and other cycles. By controlling different elements of this complex system, they hope to find answers to many real-world questions, including the effects landscapes have on the amount and quality of water runoff.
This past winter, we implemented a 45-day rain experiment on all 3 of our hill slopes. That water percolates through the soil and interacts with the thousands of sensors that we have embedded at different depths.
Those sensors allow researchers to create 3D models of their landscapes, which yield unparalleled insight into the water cycle and how it relates to hydrology and ecology on our hill slopes and mountains. As a massive experiment, LEO is helping us understand some of the most fundamental processes that sustain life on Earth.
The Biosphere 2 was built to recreate the major biomes here on Earth. And of course, with over 70% of the Earth's surface covered ocean, it was critical that we have an ocean ecosystem. Our team, along with 50 partners from all over the world, are using this unique system to study resilience of coral reefs under future changing ocean conditions. The Biosphere 2 is truly a unique opportunity for this because we have both scale and control. The 700,000 gallons of this ocean ecosystem is dedicated to coral reef research. We have a deep coral reef environment that's about 20 feet deep, which rises up to a reef crest. And then finally, behind me, we have a shallow back reef lagoon next to the beach. The reef behind me here, the Biosphere 2, looks like what we expect reefs to look like in the future if we continue to do nothing. So we've been slowly introducing more and more of these herbivores to the system, including fish that graze, pick at that algae, to understand how we can tip that balance from a degraded coral reef ecosystem to a healthy coral reef ecosystem. Here in the Sonoran Desert, we have a really unique system that allows us to test innovative solutions for building resilient coral reefs for the future. These reefs provide important services and will continue to do so for generations to come.
Earth science has revealed that human beings are a significant agent of change on our ecosystems. We ourselves are changing the way that systems on Earth interact and evolve. Because of this, the human factor must play an important role in our scientific studies. Humans were part of the first experiments conducted at Biosphere 2. Between 1991 and 1994, there were 2 missions whose purpose was to study how to create a closed ecological system with the ability to support human life in outer space. 8 people were sealed inside Biosphere 2 for 2 years. One of their goals was to learn how to grow all of their own food in a way that was sustainable, using limited resources of land and water. To do this, they farmed agricultural plots in the part of Biosphere 2 that Leo occupies today. Biosphere 2 is no longer a closed, sealed system. Now, the 40-acre Biosphere 2 campus is being used as a model city to develop and test technologies for sustainable power sources and better resource management. Our big questions are not limited to Earth. Our original test module is now being converted into a high-fidelity analog for SAM. When complete, SAM will be a sealed, human-in-the-loop system that simulates an off-world habitat. With an airlock, hub, and crew quarters, academic and commercial research teams will experiment with fertile soil creation, renewable energy development, computer modeling, and crew procedures. The physical size of Biosphere 2 is matched by the ambition of its educational mission to show how science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are vital to our future, and to inspire new generations of groundbreaking scientists. A 5-year grant extension from the National Science Foundation makes possible on-site internships geared toward students of underrepresented communities. Through research projects and mentoring, interns gain experience that's essential for graduate studies and careers in science. Undergraduate and graduate students alike are served by our VIP program that offers ambitious, long-term, multidisciplinary projects led by faculty. The goal? To help prepare the next wave of researchers who will take on the major scientific questions of the future. Biosphere 2 also serves entrepreneurs and startups. The University of Arizona Center for Innovation at Biosphere 2 supports projects focused on renewable energy and sustainable technology. Entrepreneurs develop, test, and demonstrate their technology, creating businesses that will bring solutions to society while fueling the economy.
Biosphere 2, since day one, has been ahead of its time. It's built in a way that can be transformed, and it's built in a way that has gotten better every single year. The world has realized that Biosphere 2 is the place to do its research.
Biosphere 2, advancing science here and beyond.